Ready? Welcome to our live.
Also, just a reminder, I'll feed you the first few questions after you intro.
All right, I'm going to turn around so we can slide into this. You just tell me when it's ready.
Ready.
Welcome to our live Q&A on Instant. I'm Rhett. This is Link. We're Rhett and Link.
We're going to be answering your questions that you post below. It is below, right?
We're going to be talking mostly about buddy system. We may answer other questions, but the thing that we are personally excited about right now as we speak and as we sit on these swivelly chairs is our new series, Buddy System.
Which launches tomorrow at noon Eastern.
On YouTube Red. First episode, free. Everybody can watch it. Episodes 2 through 8, you got to be a YouTube Red subscriber. Hopefully that first episode will do what we have intended for it to do and get you to subscribe.
Tantalize you. Now, what you do is you're writing the questions below. We are printing them off, and then we're reading them. It's going to take a little time.
And Laurel, you're going to be asking us some questions.
Just joking. After we got to, well, we don't need this, do we? You're gonna dictate the questions that are being read.
Sure.
Since we're not going to read them ourselves.
Well, why don't we go back to Buddy System?
Okay.
Let's go back.
Tell us a little bit about your show.
Buddy System is a scripted musical comedy series that tells the story of our lives becoming unraveled because Link's phone is stolen by our co-ex-girlfriend who is now an evil infomercial queen.
Mm-hmm. Can we piece our lives back together? Will we survive? Will we sing songs in the process?
Sitting here now. It is not a documentary, as many of you have asked. It is scripted. That means that it is fictional. But we do play ourselves. I play Rhett, he plays Link. We considered me playing Link, him playing Rhett, but we thought that would be bad for the brand, didn't do it. So we're playing ourselves as two guys who have an internet show called Good Mythical Morning. So there are a lot of things that are true to life, including the fact that
so it is a documentary.
We dated the same girl. We had the same first girlfriend and the same first kiss, although we didn't date the same girl at the same time ever, and it wasn't in high school, but that's more interesting. So we did that in the series.
So it's a documentary. Next question.
Well, you just said it's a documentary, but you also said it's a scripted series.
Yes.
What made you guys want to do scripted?
Well, I think scripted documentaries are the superior form of musical comedy that exists. We love doing Good Mythical Morning, but we love scratching creative itches. And we've had a long-term itch in a weird place to make, to write something, you know? Well, basically, and we wrote it like a movie. And then we, at a certain point, since we knew it was going to be 8 episodes, we started to divide it up. And like the process shifted a little bit from being, okay, this is the one story to what's the story per episode.
And this is something we wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah, because once you, like these specifics that I'm talking about are the type of things that we have fun figuring out. And sitting in a room and writing on paper.
And if you go back to the
remember sitting in a room?
The beginning of our, friendship, well, the beginning of us knowing that we wanted to do something together creatively. I mean, even in middle school, we sat down and wrote a screenplay together called Gutless Wonders, which if you watch Good Mythical Morning, there was a whole week where we read scenes from Gutless Wonders. But, so Good Mythical Morning it was originally a side project, right? It was a thing where it's like, well, let's just, we're making these music videos and these sketches, these local commercials, but let's do something that gives us a way to talk to our audience every single day, and that's what Good Mythical Morning started as. But we've never lost our passion for creating those things that are scripted and planned and ridiculous in a way that doesn't, GMM is all off the cuff, and that's great, but we wanted something that was more planned and scripted. I mean, it's a different art.
His answer was scripted.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
I'm actually reading a teleprompter right now.
He's
really good at it.
Give us another one. Stump us.
Well, you guys seem so excited about doing this. Can we expect a season 2?
You can expect it. You should expect it.
I don't know if we can commit to delivering on it.
Yeah.
I would say with confidence at this point, I have no clue. No, no. I would say with confidence, we had such a great experience making the first season of Buddy System that we very much are planning on doing a second season. It's not official.
Period.
But we're going to do something. No, it's not like, it's not. It's not officially in place.
It's not
I'm not
officially-
making an official announcement right now that
Without
we're doing season
Here's what I
2.
can say, without a doubt.
But
this is
yes, we
not-
will do it.
This is not
promise.
the end. This is not the end of us doing scripted comedy, by a long shot.
What about the musical album you guys made?
Yes. So there is as Link said, I think you said, I don't know.
I thought it.
We've talked about it so much, I don't know if you said it already today, but there is a song
Read the script.
in every single episode. This is all part of the teleprompter, man. I'm just being very convincing.
Right.
There is a song in every single episode, and we decided, well, if we've got songs, we should make those into music videos, and therefore there should be an album. It didn't really happen like that. From the very beginning, we knew we wanted to have an album associated with Buddy System. And you can go and listen to that right now. You can listen to the whole album, and in fact, if you are a YouTube Red subscriber, you are also you also have Google Play Music. So
Automatically.
you can go and get the entire album.
Which is like Spotify for cool people.
Yes, it is.
And we wanted to make Buddy System, the music for season 1, a physical album, like grooved on vinyl, because that's really hipster.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked into it, and we didn't have enough time.
We lost heart.
No, we didn't have enough time. You have to remaster your tracks so that they can physically be grooved on vinyl. They have to do something different to the tracks.
And you have to do the physical grooving yourself.
And well, I didn't volunteer for that.
With your fingernails.
But it takes so long to do that the timing didn't work out.
Right.
Cool. So you ready for some questions from your fans?
Yeah,
Do
we
it.
are.
Who are submitting on Instant's Facebook page?
Instant's Facebook
Yeah,
page.
hey, just in case
Submit your questions.
You're just tuning in right now. We're doing a live Q&A on Instant, and we're reading your questions as they appear
below us.
right here.
Y'all
The
have-
first one comes from
It comes from Haley Wilkin. And
Haley.
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 You have dozens of fans have written in, by the way. What was the most difficult part of the Buddy System process?
I thought the most difficult part of the process for me was going to be remembering my lines. Over the sketches that we had done for years, I was just not good at remembering my lines. Matter of fact, I can't even remember what I'm supposed to say right now.
Yeah.
But I read it a lot. I looked at it, and I asked.
not a problem.
I asked people who do acting for a living how they memorize lines. I read about how Robert Downey Jr. does it. He uses an earpiece
don't give away his
in his Iron Man costume.
give
I was
away
like,
his secrets.
don't have one of those. I better memorize these things. And so that worked out. But I was nervous about that.
I would say, I think the most difficult part of the process was there being so much creativity put into every element, and at some point you just have to let things go. We're incredibly proud of the final product, but with so much music, and we play different characters, and we're writing and acting and producing, you want to throw 100% of yourself into every single thing. We definitely threw more than 100% of ourselves, which is mathematically impossible. I know, you don't have to remind me in the comments.
Well, there's 2 of us,
Um,
so it is possible.
okay, we put
We could-
200% in, so take that.
Take that, mathematicians.
But you get to a point where you're like, oh, I would like to take another day to come up with a joke here. And eventually you just have to be like, you know what? Let the bird fly. And you take the bird, which is the show, and you push it out.
Then you pull out your shotgun.
Yeah, right. If it's a dove, that's
You
good
shoot
eating.
it.
You wrap
You shoot
the
it.
breast in bacon.
Oh,
marinate it.
yeah.
My mom was great at that.
Cook it on a
Grill.
high temperature.
You grill, oh, yeah.
Very
You
high.
grill it. Yeah.
Don't slow and low that puppy.
Yeah.
Well, don't cook a puppy.
You're not advocating that.
Cook a dove wrapped in bacon at a high temperature. Cook pork at a low and slow temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all heard it here.
Yeah. Not a white dove, though, a gray dove, because a white dove is like a symbol of peace, and that's
Ironic.
real sick.
That's called an ironic meal.
I think we've talked enough about meats.
You a
so-
vegetarian?
No, I was at one Not anymore.
Got over that.
Until right now. Until
We
just
can talk.
talked
I'm getting
about
the dub.
Bacon wrapped dub.
Mm.
A lot of people want to know, including Tatiana and Merrick, if you guys are going to publish Buddy System bloopers or a gag reel.
Tatiana and Merrick, that's a double question. They gave 200% on that question. Are we going to publish bloopers?
Well, first of all, you people love bloopers. I've definitely seen
You and your
this.
bloopers.
You know, I mean, here's what I'm going to say about that. I don't know. In fact, I've heard that there is a blooper reel.
We have not
we haven't
seen
even
it.
seen it. So you're not going to see it yet. We have to approve that kind of thing.
Makes us angry when you ask. I don't know why we seem angry.
If the implication of the question is, well, listen, these guys aren't going to be funny unless they screw it up. Well,
Then you're right.
That's not true.
Well,
the show itself is funny. If you're waiting for the blooper reel, basically it's like going to a freaking amazing Chinese restaurant and you only get excited about the fortune cookie. You know what I'm saying? Get the freaking Peking duck. Swallow your pride. Get that thing. It's been sitting out on some hanger for 24 hours. Eat the whole thing. It tastes incredible.
Are we going to take everyone back to eating some sort of feathered creature?
Yes. You see what I'm going with that. Yeah.
Wrap it in bacon.
More on food. Andrea wants you guys to do a video on potatoes. This is
On
just a
potatoes?
comment. Yeah.
Did we answer like
Just an
what?
idea for you guys. Yeah.
So there may be a blooper reel, but only if you like the series.
Well, potatoes are a theme in Buddy System. I'm not just trying to keep things on target, on theme here, but we have a running analogy, a running joke that is an analogy in Buddy System that's about potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, cream potatoes.
It's mashed potatoes in a buffet.
Well, we didn't say mashed potatoes. We just said potatoes, and you have to infer that they're mashed. But you learn that here. See, now when that episode comes out, that is episode 3, and we mentioned potatoes. You can picture mashed potatoes, even though we did not specify.
And then the analogy carries through to episode 4, in which there is a scene where I say, Link, I think you're really taking this potatoes analogy too far, and we
I say, you're right.
cut it off.
Because I remember all my lines. I remember that line,
Yeah.
even now.
Yeah, without the earpiece.
Let's go through the lines. Didn't have an earpiece.
Did they brand you?
What? That was my line
Yeah.
there. What?
Never mind. Hey, man, we gotta.
Keep going. This is good.
I'm trying to
Can we act the whole thing out?
Huh.
Can we act out the entire Buddy System now, and you can recut it?
Listen,
You can do it really quick. Like, no. Well, you guys seem to be having such a good time together.
I was going for it. No, it's fine.
We were gonna, maybe
No.
at the end. if we
Okay,
have
at the
time.
end,
Yeah.
no one's watching.
Exactly.
Someone wants you to sing too.
Yeah.
No.
But I think we have a really cute question from Nicholas. Which
Oh,
is,
Nicholas
what's-
and his cute questions.
and his cute questions. What's the secret to lifelong friendship?
Lifelong friendship.
A lifelong buddy system.
Nicholas, the secret to a lifelong friendship is. Should I go serious here?
Okay. We always have to make the choice.
You got to make a choice. All right, I'm gonna go serious with you, Nicholas. You gotta have a common goal. If you're a guy, I think women just like to sit around and be friends. But guys need to do stuff. I know that sounds sexist,
Yeah, a little
but
bit.
this is live. I'm just trying to mix it up for y'all.
That's why there's 2 of us, so that I can come in.
Take
and be
all
like-
that back.
What Link was trying to say is that when he said, should I be serious? What he really meant is, now I'm going to make a joke that makes me look like a sexist. And then he said that. And so it's one of those things that he does where he's trying to dig himself a little hole and then see if I can get him out of it. And the way I get him out of it is I would be like, his brain does not function properly. And he regrets 97% of the things that he says the moment after he says that. What he was trying to say is that
That's the secret to
having
lifelong
a
friendship.
common goal, we think there's 2.
Digging a hole and letting your friend pull you out of
The
it.
goal right now is that
Needing each
we
other.
can save face and we can move beyond what just happened. So now we have a shared goal. So we're going to demonstrate this live and in action. So I'm helping him get out of that hole because we both want to accomplish the same thing and get this interview back on track. And so we have a common thing. We're trying to get into the same boat together.
We just want to watch people. We want people to watch the series. That's really all we want.
The second thing is communication. This is something that it's taken us a long time to learn. And we've actually talked to multiple comedic duos and just people who are in friendships working together.
Right.
Having a common goal is important.
It's important. Second thing is, don't talk over each other.
Don't talk over each other.
You take turns talking.
Right.
If someone's making a good point, don't interrupt them.
And don't let things stew. You don't want things stew unless it's a Peking duck or a dove breast. or quail. I've often found quail to be good in a stew.
Like a braise.
Yeah, and you can throw a little bacon fat into the stew.
It even makes carrots good.
It really does it, right.
You know? Carrot.
Yes.
I think we did our intro wrong. I think we should have introed, this is the Rhett and Link cooking show.
We're working on that.
Well, we're still live on Facebook. Fans are
Still live on Facebook. Instant. Leave your questions below.
I like this question from Jonathan. He says, are there any throwbacks or Easter eggs in Buddy System that have to do with North Carolina?
To North Carolina?
There's a whole scene that takes place in North Carolina. A whole prom that takes place at Harnett Central High School.
We didn't know if you could actually put Harnett Central High School on the screen legally, because you know how people make up fake names for high schools in scripted comedies, in scripted stuff. But we found that legally we could literally say the name of our high school, and we did. We also said the year. We should have changed that.
Yeah, we should have taken 10 or added 10 to that.
There's also throwbacks to a number of conversations from Good Mythical Morning. So if you are an avid mythical beast, maybe I'll call them inside jokes.
Maybe you should.
I'll call them inside jokes.
Yeah, there you go.
That you see if you pick up on. Our crew, the mythical crew, also makes an appearance tomorrow in episode 1. Who asked that?
That was from, did I lose it?
It's okay, just find it.
Someone, your question.
Someone, I'll come up with it, keep talking.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
but it was
Thank you.
is the mythical crew featured? Yes, they are.
So great.
In the first scene of the whole thing that you will see tomorrow, many mythical crew members make
Die.
significant appearances, and then they all die.
By the way, Federico was hoping you could give a shout out to Venezuela.
Hey, Federico, shout out to Venezuela. Never been there, heard it's beautiful.
They love Venezuela.
It's an isthmus.
Sweet.
Alex Amelia
Yeah.
wants to know what scene or episode or music video from Buddy System are you most proud of?
What scene? Who was this again?
Amelia.
Amelia Pelia. What scene are we most proud of?
Well,
there's a certain. I'm proud of that. There's an ad lib moment between the two of us in episode 6, where about the shorts. It's a very specific moment.
That's in the trailer, so you've probably seen that.
Is
About
it? Yeah,
the dorts. The dirt shorts. Dorts.
Right around that, like we made that up right as we were shooting it. So it's like so much planning goes into everything, and then I enjoy watching those moments that I know that we created in the moment, like an ad lib. So
whereas I enjoy, just as much or more, the moments where something was conceptualized on paper and then
it works.
Actually works. And so we had to watch Buddy System with our friends and family the other night in like a private screen.
We had to.
We got to, is what I said. And the being able to see something that he's like, I always thought that this was funny when you said this and I said this and then this happened, but then when you see that somebody completely gets it.
What point are you thinking about a particular point?
Well, I mean, just like in that same scene, basically that whole scene, the way that whole scene worked out, and how your character had a specific goal. I don't want to give it away, but the way all that came together. Yes, the ad libs were very funny, but also just what was on the page was really funny, and it all worked. And I would say so many parts of it worked like that in a way that's like, I don't know if we just think this is funny, because once you've seen it a million times, once you've written it and then watched it a million times in the edit, you just don't think it's funny at all anymore. You lose complete perspective. But then when you see it in front of an audience and they laugh and they really get it, you're like, oh yeah. That was funny for the reason that we thought it was funny when we came up with it that we forgot about because it's been months. So hopefully you'll have the same experience when you watch it. We just can't hear you laugh. We can just see your comments.
Well, your fans also want to know what your favorite song off the new album is and what your inspiration behind it was.
Our favorite song on the new album and our inspiration behind it.
Or just the album in general, the inspiration.
So Dang Dark, the first song, was released this past Sunday. Hopefully you watched it. Watch it again. Share it. It's on a Good Mythical Morning channel.
Is that your favorite one?
That's my favorite song. The last song, the Tough Choices, A Whale Is Gonna Die song, what got the biggest, we got the most positive feedback in the screening on that song, and that surprised me.
It's the weirdest song.
Conceptually, it's the weirdest song. I think people really like the concept. Musically, that's the one that that one went through a lot of iterations. I think in your mind you heard it, and I didn't hear it, then we like had arguments about it.
Had a lot of arguments.
And then they were like,
which is another question I saw. What kind of things do you argue about? We argued about that song for quite some time. Because I was trying
whether it was good or not.
Because I was trying to communicate.
And you were right.
I'm saying you were right. What genre it was and what I was hearing, and we couldn't arrive at anything.
Right. Which is,
I couldn't defend it. I was like, it's not a genre, man. It's just a good song. It's our genre, man.
But give me a reference. Can you at least give me a reference? We have to give a reference to Mark, our music producer, who he adds elements to the track to help it take shape.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, let's give him a reference, or like 5 references, and say this about this and this about this. And it's good.
But it turned out, and I'll say real quickly, most of our songs that we've ever written work in a very particular way. We write the music and we write the lyrics, and then we give it to our producer, who basically fills the song out and adds the instrumentation that, we just send like piano or guitar and us singing.
A demo.
But one song that happened differently than has ever happened was the a cappella song, the Barbershop Quartet, If I Had Another Me. Is that what we ended up calling that on the album, If I Had Another Me? And we have no idea how to write 4-part barbershop quartet harmony, so we actually collaborated with Ben Bram.
My only association with a cappella is making fun of it.
Right, but barbershop quartet and a cappella, I believe, are different. But we worked with Grammy Award-winning composer extraordinaire Ben Bram, who actually works with Pentatonics, and we sent him the lyrics, and then he came back with that song with the 4 different parts, 2 for Link, 2 for me. And the first time we just sat down and listened to it.
And he sang all of it.
And we were okay, well, let's just isolate one of those. And we played one of the tracks, and there was no way that we could sing it. It took us several weeks of listening to that to get to a place where we could sing it, because it was so counterintuitive.
It was like listening to another language.
Just something our ear had never heard.
Man, this is not 90s country music or 90s rap music.
Yeah,
I cannot speak the language. Those are the 2 music languages that I speak.
But it turned out.
And a lot of people
it turned out.
To know, thank you. A lot of people want to know, like Beatrice wanted to know if the body paint from the So Dang Dark music video came off.
Beatrice, the body paint is still on there.
There's a few parts that it was very difficult to wash off, but it comes in very handy in dark rooms.
Well, fans also want to know.
It came off that night, except for inside of my ears, and then the next day, people were like, "Why is the inside of your ear orange?"
Yeah.